We are on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan, Chapter 2655. Okay, good morning, Mr. Stanford. Okay, you're waiving your right to an attorney. Okay, we have a waiver we need you to sign, and then we'll call the matter up, okay?
You don't.
I don't. Oh, let me see here. Oops, yep, see the other side. No, that's okay. Okay, so, your name for the record, please. Keep your hands out the pocket. J is the date scheduled for your arraignment and pretrial in these matters. And, sir, do you know why you're here? Do you want the court to read the charges, or do you want to waive the formal reading and continue with the proceedings? Okay. Court will waive the formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty for purposes of the arraignment. And, sir, you have an opportunity to prosecute attorney today, correct? All right. And there seems to be a resolution, correct? Okay. And so, sir, what is the nature of that resolution for the record?
I don't know what this supposed to be dropped or your full action.
Okay. And, sir, I required.
And just like that, we're officially on the record. This is an arraignment and pretrial combined, which means things are moving fast. When a defendant waives formal reading of charges, it usually signals one thing. There's already a deal in motion. The real question is he fully prepared for what's about to happen without a lawyer? Waiving the formal reading isn't unusual.
To inform you, I know that you've reviewed this document and that you've initialed. I'm required to inform you, sir, that you do have the right to have an attorney represent you in all critical stages of the criminal process. And that this stage is one of those critical processes of critical stages of criminal process. You understand that, sir? And you do understand, sir, that if you wanted to have an attorney have one appointed to represent you, you understand that. And knowing all of that, you want to continue the process representing you. And you did, in fact, initial the document, correct? And you read this prior to initialing it. Is that all? Okay, that document, the 27th District Court of Michigan Institute Defense Counsel Program waiver. Okay, and so, sir, I'm going to have you please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter the king whole truth and the truth. Okay, and sir, as to the plea trial that you're going to be pleading guilty to no operator's license on person, how do you plead? And you've gone over your advice rights, correct? And in fact, you signed that document. Did you have questions regarding those rights? You understand by entering into a plea that you'll be waiving some of those rights. You also understand, sir, the possible penalty as a result of the plea, whether in court, any other court, administrative agency. That administrative agency could be the Secretary of State. Also, are you on probation or parole here, sir? Okay. And so, knowing all that, you need to continue with your plea. Has anybody promised you anything, threatened you, or coerced you in any way?
But here's what's important. He's also waived his right to an attorney. The judge is required to make sure that waiver is knowing and voluntary. If you're facing criminal charges, Even something that sounds minor like no operator's license. Would you go alone? Now, this is where things get interesting. If a default judgment was entered while he was incarcerated and unaware of the lawsuit, that could absolutely be grounds to set aside. The judge is basically hinting.
You know, enter into a plea. Any immigration issue. Serve on the date in question, that being January 8th, 2025, with you in the city of Wyandotte. And you had police contact at some point, correct? And you were operating motor vehicle, that also correct. And upon request of the police officer at what seems to be a subsequent traffic stop, you were unable to provide a valid operator's license to the correct? And that was in the city of Wyandotte, is that also correct? All right, the court does find the plea as knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea to the amended charge, the original charge for the plea agreement. And sir, you have to court to oppose immediate sentencing. Or do you want to come back for a sentencing date whereby we have to keep that in you and the court receive the recommendation for probation?
You can reference, you know.
Okay, great. What does the court to know, sir? Right. About the offense or about you. Okay. Well, sir, what's the status of your license? Okay, why is this? Were you incarcerated in 2019, sir? So you really, I know that you've declined attorney today. However, you really should speak to an attorney because if you were in custody when a default judgment was entered against you, that would be a ground to set aside the default judgment.
What kind of help me process the file emotionally so all my documents. I just like I can't pull up the loop, it's not pulling up nowhere in the state case website. I've called work a couple times and said that they assigned me to a judge, which is fucking waiting for I don't know them.
Like, what is the charge in 36 district court, sir?
It was for people because I was 2019 I was in the car accident. My actions was in the
so is it a default, like, is it a financial debt?
Oh, my house. That's what I was released. I came home from and I went out to the jury state. I paid off. I had like so come I had to do some tickets. The jury state's like, oh, you have to sign a claim. It's like $100,000. You make you a and I had to pay about $500 $50. So like they gave me my license, the whole I had my driver's license in the phone. Like 4 months into it, I made my payment. Like 2 days later, the vet collected the whole like well, just showing that payment was wrong. So you don't have to make another payment. Before to make another payment, I tried to explain it. When I talked to you, I had seek counsel and we told me a bit about how shady so what I did, validation, I something like they shipped me back. That's why I was a bird. Default purpose is
Okay. Result of you having a debt collection agency?
No, it's
prior to that.
From Cars 2019. And the whole situation was happening when they tried to something the insurance company. And I wasn't, I was never made aware. So when I came home, she signed the claim. She mentioned something looked like it was card. Like, holy, I'm aware of what it is, but
You might have a legal lifeline here. And notice, even after waiving counsel, she's nudging him toward getting one. That's significant. Let's break that down. The fine is one part, but courts stack mandatory assessments and costs on top. That's how a relatively minor traffic-related offense turns into a $325 total for someone unemployed and already struggling with license reinstatement. That's not small. The real takeaway? One suspended license can spiral into financial...
So, what motion did you file, sir, in 36th District Court?
Following motion was 75 or in or executed, and I can't think right off the top of my head these report rules.
Right.
I was using it for essentially because I was not made to try.
When did you file that motion?
For November 4th, I believe.
25? Okay. And so, sir, why were you driving on January 2025?
Honestly, I'm not going to excuse how I made a poor decision.
Okay. How many more poor decisions have you made? Continue to drive?
It's fine. That's what I see in this work.
Okay. So where do you work?
I don't really work. That's one of the biggest obstacles that I'm having. We find it is one of the things not having done.
Okay. And so you reside, okay. I believe in that area, so there's quite a few places that you can walk to.
Oh, yeah. I get around. I feel like even people, for that reason, like, there's like a lot of education that's done with like, house doctor review. It's just like, look, or
Maybe you have to rerun your background check. There is also programs for individuals that have felonies on their record. Is programmed to assist with employment that way. So you really need to look into that.
I know this is kind of awesome, but I haven't been trying to prepare for it. So the idea is really to do the best for time. I would like to try to start with all Revolutionary Seeds for Life.
Revolution
Seeds.
Okay.
Revolutionary Seeds for Life. And we want to try to help again community, one our community of using stuff, and try to get that practice of like personal gardening or happy gardening, stuff like this. And I roll around. I mean, I'm sure we all like nice present. But not only that, it's like bringing people back to the room to where everybody can celebrate the best team. If we got certain food going, we got food going, we can swap it out and work. But honestly, like I don't really think about gardening. It's like I had it it's real bad. And also that's like gives me like killing me being struggle right now because of my own times the years that I've already boosted my like and stuff coming up. So it's like I'm trying to find a way that I kind of check my personal like what I get out of it. If I document something like this, then you substitutes like
quicksand fast. And yet, this could have been worse. No jail, immediate sentencing, charge reduced. So here's the bigger question. Is this a turning point or just another chapter? That right there, judges notice that. No excuses. No blaming the system. Just ownership. In sentencing moments, especially when asking for immediate sentencing, accountability can matter more than a perfectly polished speech. Do you think that kind of honesty actually influences outcomes?
I know I can share one of my favorite reasons that are some different things. And it's just like not having a license is like one.
In this area, you are correct. However, well, no, that was not what I was going to say. I was going to say a few things based on what you said. And so, sir, yes, you may have made some poor choices that landed you in prison. But you can also look at that as a huge learning and take what you've learned from your time that you say was wasted in prison, okay, and do some positives. what it is you want to do. What I was going to say also is that the weather is breaking, and so if you have a bicycle, or sometimes police come in, auction off bicycles, you can do that, right? So then you can bike to wherever it is you have to work or what have you. But you should strongly look into the I forget the name of the well, not too, but name of the program that hires convicted felons for employment. There's a program, and there are companies that do that. They give individuals scholarships. So you really should look into that so that you can get that information, start earning some money, and then you can kind of be able to promote um, your uh, idea. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. So you posted a bond, and that was in your name, correct? Yes, in your name. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. So order $200 fine, $100 cost, and fee of $75. Justice and criminal fee of $50. Actually, really, that's a $100 fine. So your total is $324. Stop at the window. You'll get some of your bond back. Returned to you. It'll be mailed to you for. You won't just get it right here. So send it out to. You send it out this month. But I don't. We're not be able to do that. So I can't tell you if it just happened yesterday. Maybe another month. It's going to happen the end of this month. I don't know.
So that's being told.
Yes. Okay. So stop at the window. Make sure we have your correct contact information, sir. As to where to send the to your mailing address.